Punch. So I went through like a whole marathon of Yuen movies. I don't remember how I learned about this guy. I just heard about him, and then he made a cameo in Descendants of the Sun, and then he made a cameo in Discovery of Romance, and I remembered his face, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch his movies, and I fucking fell in love, and he became one of my favorite actors, honestly, and Punch was the movie that was missing, and I was really eager to see it. I heard a lot about it. I didn't know what it was about, but I heard that it was an important movie in his career, and it was a very, like, good, famous, prestigious director, and it was based on a novel and everything, and it was a very important movie for him, and I wanted to see why, and now I see it. It was really, really good. I didn't know, like I said, what to expect. I figured since the title is Punch, he's gonna be punching people. I didn't really know. I figured maybe it would be like more like Tough as Iron was, where he was just fighting people. But it wasn't that. It was a lot more than that. It was, you know, the typical... I hate the typical, like, coming-of-age story. When I see a coming-of-age story, I'm like, stop. Like, I roll my eyes so hard, they, like, practically, like, fall off my head. And this one, though, was so good, and it was just so simple. It was just about a kid. He was just a kid that had, you know, he had trouble at home, he had trouble at school, but what I liked about it was that the problems that he had were just regular problems. They weren't anything super dramatic, and it was funny. It was really funny, but not in like a joke, haha type of way, but more like the way life is funny sometimes. And I found myself like laughing my ass off at like 4 in the morning watching this. And I didn't know why, and I was like, should I be laughing at this? But it was really funny. It was just funny in the way, like, it reminded me a lot of 50-50 in the sense that that was a story about cancer, right? Really terrible, tragic thing. And it was fucking funny. And this was the same way in the sense that life sometimes is funny, no matter how fucked up it is, and no matter how bad things may look, there's still funny moments, and it was really heartwarming, honestly. Like, that's the perfect word. I just felt so good after watching it, and I just felt for this character, and like I said, like, his problems weren't that, I guess, like, life crippling. I don't know, he did bad at school because he didn't study, and his teacher was his neighbor, which was the best part ever, and you know, he didn't have money. He lived with his dad. He didn't have a mom. He also lived with his uncle, who was mentally challenged. And, you know, he kept feeling sorry for himself. And he kept feeling ashamed of who he is and where he's from. But his teacher was really like, the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you be ashamed of being poor? Like, that's not a crime. Like, get over yourself. And I like the teacher's mentality so much. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, your father works hard, and, you know, your father's a good man, and, you know, he's trying so hard for you, and, like, man up. And I really like the teacher. Like, man up, okay? And it was just, I didn't expect this movie to revolve so much around the relationship between him and his teacher. That was my favorite part, honestly. The fact that they were neighbors and they saw each other in school, and their relationship was so interesting because it starts off with him going to church, praying that God would murder his teacher. And the way he prays is the best thing ever, because he goes there and he's like, God, I know you like money, and I'm gonna donate to this church if you kill my teacher. And it's like, this is how we begin. And it's like, if this movie had been handled in a different way, it would have been like the saddest, most tragic thing ever. Like, this poor kid, and just be crying the whole time. But the way they handled it, it was so fucking funny. So I really enjoyed it. Totally worth it. I wanted more, and as the credits roll, there is like an extra scene, so stay tuned for that. That was really cool. And yeah, I wish there were more fight scenes. He does start learning kickboxing, so that was fun. And he liked getting into fights. It's not that he liked it, I guess, but more and we've all met someone like that, someone that gets triggered easily. I've met guys like that jump up and start throwing punches. I've definitely met people like that, so it was interesting to see a character like that. I like those characters, the ones that get into trouble and get into fights. They don't start the fight, but it's like they feel provoked, so they throw the first punch, so they technically start the fight. Yeah, I like those characters, and that's exactly what he was. And he's a good kid that has anger issues. That's it. I like those characters. I don't know why. Maybe because I've known people like that and I can relate. I had so much fun, honestly, so much fun. It's not even a comedy, and it was funny. It was funny. Like I said, the way life is funny sometimes. It's just, you just sit down and laugh. And that's it. Like, I can't even think of like a specific, like in the church, like, please God, I know you like money, kill my teacher for me, he's terrible. That's great. And then there's like another girl that goes to church and starts praying as well, and he's like, starts whispering like, God, you must be so busy, but remember that I came first. Like, wow, your schedule is crazy, but seriously, dude, like, I came first to you, like, please, my wish first. It was great. It was really funny, and he's like so serious about it. And yeah, he looked so young in this. This was 2011, so 5 years ago, and he looked so young. You can definitely buy him being a high school kid. So crazy, like he looked really young. And yeah, he did great. Everybody did great. And I swear there was a cameo by Ga Megan, and I looked it up. And was she the lady selling shoes? Because it looked a lot like her, but I wasn't sure. It was 5 years ago, and she had like a different hairstyle and everything. I was like, is that her? But I looked it up, and I couldn't find her being listed on it as a cameo or anything. So maybe I'm just wrong. But maybe I'm just thinking about her too much, because I just watched like Reply 1988 and Son of the Man Who Sells the River. She was in that, so maybe I was just thinking about her because I watched the movie right after. But yeah, so Punch, it was way better than I expected it to be. It was way more. It just gave me a lot more than I expected. I didn't expect to be so attached to it already, but yeah, I loved it. It was really heartwarming, and like I said, a super simple story about a kid that has a lot of problems, but at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Like, get over it. Like, you're better than this. And I like the message of it. And happy endings all around. And I was happy with everything. And that's it. Punch. It was... I wish there were more fight scenes. Because I like fight scenes a lot. And, like, I wish we had more. Because we have, like, a bit of, like, a Cook moment from him. Like, I'm Cook from Skins. But I wish we had more of that, so yeah, Punch.
원두고
연마 도안득 연마 도안득 연마 도안득 연마 도안득
와, 연마, 너도.
쌤 저한테 왜 그러세요 진짜?
시간 너무 알았을 가고 잘놈들은 자라.
이 선생
이게 시끄러우면 아파트로 이사를 가든가.
나한테 뭘 가르쳐 달라고?
그 똥주가 하는 꼴 좀 보라고요 그러니까.
야, 햇발 하나 던져봐.
도안득 빨리 문 열어봐.
그러니까 똥주 죽였어요.
완드가 비도는 마음속 깊이 우러나서 오래오래 해야 되는 거야.
쌤 제가 재밌으시죠? 어떻게 저렇게 완벽하게 불쌍하기가 있을까? 그리고 재밌다고 저 놀리시는 거죠.
재밌지. 세상 탓하고 나 원망이나 하고 그리고 인생 종실까봐 아주 재밌다.
킥복싱? 싸움이 아니라 스포츠예요.
이거 싸움 잘한다고 야자까지 빼줬더니 이거 소질 있는 거야? 어? 맨날 얻어 터지고 다니는 거 아니야?
저 원래 쌤 싫어해요.
알고 있어. 나한테 수많은 완두기가 있어. 니들이 날 선생이라고 생각하든 말든 그거 상관없다.